All right, something secretive is going on at Tesla's factory in Fremont, and their VP of automotive is not even telling his employees. He's kind of keeping it in secret, but he wrote an email to them, and then he also mentioned some social media stuff that we're gonna get to in just 1 second. But it has to do with increasing the output of how many cars Tesla is making. So this actually triggers quite a few interesting ideas and the questions that we're going to talk about right now. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric! Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button, of course, and thank you to one of my newer Patreons, Ash and Hugo. Thank you for supporting my independent channel, joining my Patreon community, and that is where you can watch every single video live. All right, so what it was yesterday or today, Bloomberg reported that there was a leaked email from VP of Automotive Jerome, and he yeah, the way that email is kind of was written is it was almost like meant to be leaked because it's addressing the employees, but the information he's giving to them, it almost sounds like a press release. And almost, if I was an employee, I was like, why'd you write this? I have stuff to do. Elon's on my butt, okay? So let's just go over a couple of things that he said there, and talk about it. So the first one. He says, while we can't be too specific in this email, I know you will be delighted with the upcoming developments. What? Okay, why write an email? But the fact that they're being very secretive is, it's I guess good. But at the same time, we know that they're expanding the output, which is actually pretty good news. Don't forget that they've produced what about 50 something thousand cars in Q1, and then about 95,000 cars in Q2. So if my math is right, and I'm Russian, so I should know this, we're about 150,000 cars so far, and their projection was about 360,000 to 400, even though lately they've been claiming they can go up to 500,000 cars. I never know why they make these promises, especially if the Tesla factory in Shanghai will go in production earlier than expected, and it looks like it might. Every time we see the pictures and videos of how it's going, and it's extremely surprising. I mean, like we know now, especially looking at Biden's factories, that stuff gets done real quick there, especially as far as building is concerned. But even with that, that factory is being built super super fast, so that's great. And now they're saying they wanted to achieve 7,000 units altogether cars per week, so 1,000 cars per week by the end of this year, and 3,000 cars in Shanghai by the end of the year, which I thought that was kind of optimistic. But they've already achieved that. They just reported in the last couple of weeks of the last quarter, last month, June, they've been achieving 1,000 cars per day. So they kind of like Tesla's been surprising us, right? Like they've been, under promising and over delivering, I guess. So that's a good news. And by the way, let's talk about the second part of the of that email. But speaking of Byton and their factory, I should remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by them. Check out their all-electric SUV called M-Byte, coming to Europe and here United States at the end of the next year. But you should reserve yours today. It's starting at only $45,000 before the incentives, which is kind of insane. It costs $0 though to reserve one in about 60 seconds of your time. So browse to the description of this video so you can reserve your Byton today. All right, let's move on to the second part of his email. And this is getting kind of funny. He says, do not share company information through email, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Leave that to Elon. Quite a few things to unpack. First of all, Jerome, I'm just going to be on a first name basis with him. Your boss has canceled social media presence on Facebook a while back. There is no Facebook page for Tesla. I always thought it was kind of silly because one of the largest communities for Tesla owners, including my own, are on Facebook in terms of Facebook groups and pages and so forth. Just overall, Facebook obviously hosts an older crowd, which is Tesla, especially Model S and Model X owners. So yeah, they can't. But that's just kind of weird that they're referencing Facebook where they really don't have it. But I get it. Don't share it our Facebook. I get it. All right. Leave that to Elon. I actually would rather not leave that to Elon, to be honest with you. But why remind everybody? Every single employee obviously knows that you can't share internal communication with outside world. You will probably get fired, and rightfully so. But I gotta say that I'm just saying it's the way it's written. It's almost he's like asking you guys don't share, right? Don't share this. We don't want this kind of information out about how great we're doing ahead of the production. Yeah, so, and also he says, once that information is public, feel free to retweet your heart out, share on Instagram or Facebook. Well, first of all, you share it on Facebook. And by the way, I also like, so this is a quote from Bloomberg, right? So I guess he forgot to, you know, use Grammarly there and drop the two there. So they had to put it back where it meant to be. So I thought it was a little bit funny, but I'm this is interesting. I mean, this, you know, he doesn't usually speak very often or kind of put out statements. So I thought it was kind of almost entertaining, if you will. But getting back to this, the fact that they're actually finding a space to create more output just in that factory is pretty impressive. Now I know they're combining the Model S and Model X lines, which I think is going to be kind of hard, right? Because they only share what 25-35% of parts, and they're very different cars, especially with the Falcon doors being really complicated. But okay, and they're making space for the Model Y. Now I don't know, like if you've ever been to a Tesla factory, especially at the end of the quarter, you can feel the stress in the air. There's like no parking. The employees looking for parking. There's all this trucks, semi-trucks are going in and out. It's very hectic. I don't know how they're gonna like accommodate that. They do have a humongous couple of other factories, Gigafactory, of course. I'm not talking about the one in Buffalo because it's kind of far away, but the one in Nevada, you know, maybe utilize that. I know there's some issues with going, you know, transferring cars back and forth, but you know, they do produce batteries there, so you know, I feel like there's a way to split it up, but I guess they're just kind of too far into the process. And I gotta say, it's pretty impressive. Now, I don't know what they mean by, you know, like when you're writing to your employees, you want the employees to be impressed by like having more days off or having to work less and, you know, kind of stuff like that. But I feel like, you know, what he meant is like, we're going to make more cars. And this is mainly for consumers, and it's mainly for investors. So I'm not really buying that email was ever meant to really be for employees. It was definitely meant to be leaked. And, you know, just like I said, because they're kind of under pretty strict guidelines from SEC, this is one of the ways that I feel like Elon and now the rest of his executives figured out how they can do it. Not that other companies don't, they definitely do. They know that they cannot disclose, you know, some information because it could be, you know, they could get SEC on their butt just like Elon did, but at the same time they want to communicate that, so they write an internal email, which is perfectly fine to do, and then have it leaked. So I'm not saying that's what happened here. I'm just saying it looks like it did. So, and that's fine, I guess. All right. So let me know what you think. Do you think Tesla can reach 10,000 units in production by the end of this year? Can they really make 500,000 cars by the end of the year? While you're mulling that over, don't forget to sign up with our VIP list, which is also free. That's the second thing that's free in our description of this video. And we'll send out a bonus story every Saturday to you in our newsletter. And it's something that just we weren't able to fit into these videos on YouTube, but it's still a fun story. And our writer AJ does a great job summarizing it and, of course, sending it to you guys. All right, looking forward to your comments. Other than that, see you next time. And remember to stay charged.